Welcome back to World Information HD, the channel where we uncover the most fascinating treasures of history, the mysteries of rare coins, and the secrets that might just be hiding in your pocket change. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most captivating coins from the mid-20th century, a coin that millions of Americans once used in their daily lives without giving it a second thought, the 1950-60 Lincoln Wheat Penny. At first glance, this coin may look ordinary, just another cent that jingled in the pockets of workers, soldiers, farmers, and children during the 1950s. But hidden beneath its humble copper surface lies a story of history, minting mastery, unusual varieties, and incredible collector demand that has made certain examples of this coin worth thousands of dollars today. So let's travel back in time to understand how this penny came to be, why it is so significant, and what makes collectors willing to pay staggering amounts of money for a coin that was once only worth a single cent. The year is 1956. America is in the midst of the post-war boom. Rock and roll music is taking over the radios, Dwight D. Eisenhower is in the White House, and the average price of a new car is just over $2,000. Every corner store, diner, and gas station across the country was filled with the familiar clinking of pennies being exchanged. But among those billions of copper cents struck by the U.S. Mint, one stands out in particular, the Lincoln Wheat Penny with the Denver Mint mark. To understand the importance of the 1950-60 Wheat Penny, we must first take a look at the iconic design. The obverse, or front side of the coin, features the dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This portrait marked a turning point in American coinage, as it was the very first time that a real person, and specifically a president, appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. Above Lincoln's head are the bold words, "In God We Trust." To the left, the simple word, "Liberty." And to the right, the date 1956, with the small D Mint mark tucked neatly beneath it, indicating that it was struck at the Denver Mint. On the reverse of the coin, we see the classic wheat ears design. Two wheat stalks curve upward on each side, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above it rests the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many one. This design, used from 1909 until 1958, gave the coin its nickname, the Wheat Penny. For collectors, these wheat reverse cents carry a nostalgic charm, reminding us of an era when even the smallest coin had real purchasing power. Now, while billions of wheat pennies were minted throughout the years, not all of them have survived in pristine condition. The 1950-60 in particular is fascinating because although the Denver Mint struck an enormous number, over 1 billion coins, it is the rare varieties, minting errors, and exceptionally well-preserved examples that elevate its value into the realm of true treasure. Let's talk about production first. The Denver Mint was known for producing coins in massive quantities during the 1950s. In 1956, it churned out more than 1 billion wheat pennies, meaning this date and mint mark is by no means scarce in lower grades. In fact, if you search through old jars of pennies, estate sales, or even rolls of coins from the bank, you still have a fair chance of spotting one of these. But here's the catch: finding one in top condition, untouched by circulation, with its original luster shining bright as if it just left the mint, is a much rarer achievement. Collectors place tremendous value on condition. A penny that has been handled for decades, scratched, and worn down may only be worth a few cents above face value. But one that has been carefully preserved, perhaps forgotten in a drawer or saved in a collection for generations, can sell for hundreds or even thousands. In numismatics, the difference between a coin worth almost nothing and one worth a small fortune can be as simple as a single grade point on the professional grading scale. But condition isn't the only factor that makes the 1950-60 wheat penny so captivating. Era varieties are where the real magic lies. You see, when billions of coins are struck, mistakes are bound to happen. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes often translate to rarity, and rarity translates to value. One of the most famous era varieties associated with the 1950-60 penny is the double die. This occurs when the coin's die, the metal piece used to stamp the design, shifts slightly during the engraving process, creating a doubled image on the coin. Collectors search endlessly for examples where the doubling is visible on the date, the lettering, or even Lincoln's features. A double-dyed penny from this year can be worth significantly more than a regular strike. There are also repunchment marks, where the small d was accidentally stamped more than once, leaving a shadowed or overlapping impression. To the casual observer, this might look like a tiny blur, but to the trained eye of a numismatist, it is a coveted detail. These varieties make the coin not just another common wheat penny, but a true collectible with its own unique story. Then we have off-center strikes, where the design was not properly aligned with the coin blank, leaving part of the design missing and part of the blank surface exposed. There are also die cracks, cuds, and other striking anomalies that make certain 1950-60 pennies stand out as one-of-a-kind pieces of history. So why are collectors so fascinated with this particular coin? Beyond the obvious appeal of errors and condition, the 1950-60 wheat penny represents the final years of the beloved wheat reverse design. Just 2 years later, in 1959, the U.S. Mint would replace the wheat ears with the Lincoln Memorial design to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. For many collectors, the wheat penny era symbolizes a golden age of American coinage. Owning a coin from the late 1950s feels like holding on to the last chapter of a classic story. Imagine it. This tiny copper coin, barely an inch wide, has survived the rise of rock and roll, the Cold War, the moon landing, and decades of change in American culture. Every scratch, every mark, every preserved shine tells a story of where it has been. Some were lost in jars, some spent in grocery stores, and some saved by keen-eyed collectors who knew these pennies might one day become valuable treasures. Now, let's talk about modern value. While many circulated examples of the 1950-60 wheat penny are still only worth a few cents, it is the high-grade, uncirculated, error-laden, or particularly unique ones that catch the eyes of serious collectors and auction houses. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated and graded thousands of these coins, and the finest examples with blazing red luster often sell for impressive amounts. Stories abound of people finding wheat pennies in old boxes, coffee tins, or inherited coin collections, only to discover they are worth far more than expected. It's not just about the metal, it's about history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something truly unique. For you, the viewer, this means that checking your pocket change, searching through those jars of coins passed down from parents or grandparents, or even buying unsearched rolls of pennies online can lead to an exciting discovery. Who knows? The next time you come across a humble 1950-60 penny, it might just be one of those rare varieties or high-grade survivors worth far more than a single-cent. Collectors treasure these coins for their beauty, their history, and their potential value. And for some, that value has reached astonishing levels at auction. While the average example may only be worth a modest premium, the rarest and most perfect specimens of the 1950-60 wheat penny have crossed into the realm of serious money. And here is the number that might surprise you. The highest recorded values for a pristine example of the 1950-60 Lincoln wheat penny have reached an incredible $29,387. Welcome back, everyone, to another fascinating journey into the world of rare and valuable coins. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most intriguing treasures hiding in plain sight, an unassuming coin that many of us have probably handled without realizing its true significance. I'm talking about the 1958 D-Mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny. Now, before you think this is just another ordinary copper penny from the late 1950s, let me assure you, it is far more than just pocket change. This small coin carries with it a rich history, hidden stories from the minting presses of Denver, and the potential to surprise collectors with incredible worth if found in pristine condition. So, let's take our time, slow down, and really uncover every detail about this fascinating coin. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some collectors hunt tirelessly for coins like this, and you'll discover the kind of money one of these pennies can actually bring. The story of the 1958 D. Lincoln wheat penny begins during a time when the United States was going through tremendous changes. The post-war boom had reshaped society. Families were buying homes, cars, and televisions. The Cold War was rising in intensity. And right there in people's pockets, wallets, and piggy banks sat the humble penny, a coin so small in value yet so massive in its historical significance. The Lincoln wheat penny, first introduced in 1909, had already become an iconic piece of American coinage. It was created to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first widely circulated U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual historical figure. Prior to that, coins displayed more symbolic images, but the Lincoln penny changed all of that forever. Fast forward to 1958. This year marked the final chapter of the wheat penny era. After nearly 5 decades of production, the wheat stalks that had graced the reverse of the coin since 1909 were about to be replaced. In 1959, the design would shift to the Lincoln Memorial reverse, a style that would dominate American pennies for another 50 years. That means that the 1958 pennies were the last of their kind, the final run of the original design. For collectors, that alone makes this year's coin special. But what about the 1958 D mint mark specifically? Well, the D on the coin stands for Denver, one of the United States Mint's busiest branches. The Denver Mint produced a massive number of coins in 1958, including more than 800 million Lincoln wheat pennies. With such a high mintage, you might assume that the 1958 D penny would be common and not worth much. And in general circulation, that's true. Most of these coins are worth only their face value or perhaps a small premium to collectors. But as always with coins, the devil is in the details. The true worth of a 1958 D penny depends on a variety of factors: condition, rarity, and historical context. The vast majority of these pennies were spent in everyday transactions, tossed into jars, and handled roughly. Finding one that has survived the decades in near-perfect condition is the real challenge. Collectors pay special attention to grading, a process that evaluates a coin's condition on a scale from poor all the way to mint state perfection. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. For the 1958 D penny, coins in circulated condition might be worth just a few cents, but uncirculated examples, those that have been preserved with their original luster, can fetch far more. Imagine holding a penny that looks as though it rolled off the Denver minting press yesterday. The details on Lincoln's face are crisp and sharp. The wheat stalks on the reverse show every tiny line. The red copper glow shimmers under the light. That's the kind of coin that gets collectors excited, because so few survive in such pristine state. And then, there are error coins, mistakes made during the minting process. These errors can range from off-center strikes to doubled dies, and they are some of the most sought-after coins in the collecting world. While the 1958 D penny does not have as famous an error as the 1955 doubled die, any unusual misstrike from that year can still attract a lot of attention and value. Now, let's pause for a moment and consider why coins like this capture our imaginations. After all, it's just 1 cent. Why should a penny from 1958 matter so much? The answer lies in its connection to history, to memory, and to rarity. Each coin is like a time capsule, a small piece of metal that has traveled through countless hands, perhaps buying candy at a corner store, dropped on a sidewalk, or hidden in a child's piggy bank. And for collectors, the challenge of finding that one coin in exceptional condition is like searching for buried treasure. The wheat penny design itself adds another layer of beauty. On the obverse, we see the enduring profile of Abraham Lincoln, the great emancipator, captured by sculptor Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, are etched at the bottom of the bust. On the reverse, those simple but elegant wheat stalks curve along the edges, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above, the phrase E pluribus unum reminds us of the nation's unity. Together, these design elements give the coin not just value but artistry. The 1958 D penny also holds symbolic weight because of its place in transition. It was the end of the wheat penny era, a design that had become beloved by Americans for nearly 50 years. In 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the design changed to the Lincoln Memorial. While the memorial pennies are also collectible, many coin lovers believe the wheat penny has a certain timeless charm that the later design never quite captured. Owning a 1958 penny is like holding the final page of an important chapter in American coinage. As we reflect on this, it's worth remembering that coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about passion, history, and discovery. Collectors often recall childhood memories of sifting through piles of change, hoping to stumble across a rare treasure. The thrill of the hunt makes every discovery exciting, no matter how small. And when you realize that one of those ordinary pennies might actually be worth far more than its face value, the excitement only grows. Let's imagine for a moment that you're going through an old jar of coins inherited from your grandparents. As you sort through nickels, dimes, and pennies, one copper coin catches your eye. It's from 1958, and it bears the little D under the date. You take a closer look. The coin looks unusually sharp, with bright luster. You realize you may be holding something truly special. For collectors, that moment of discovery is priceless. Of course, not every 1958 penny will change your life. Many are still only worth a few cents. But the rarest, most well-preserved examples can command astonishing prices in auctions and private sales. And this is where our story reaches its climax. After all, you've been waiting to hear the true market value of this little coin. So here it is, the price that makes the 1958 Dewey penny a standout among collectors. In the right condition, with the right grade, this humble copper coin has been known to sell for as much as $33,487. That's right. A coin you could easily mistake for spare change, a coin that was struck by the millions in Denver, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars today. And that, my friends, is the magic of coin collecting. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It reminds us that history is alive, that treasures hide in plain sight, and that sometimes the smallest things, like a single penny, can hold the greatest stories. The story of American coins is more than just metal struck with images. It is the story of a nation's history, its artistry, its mistakes, its economic ups and downs, and sometimes, its secrets. Among the vast collection of coins that the United States has produced, few inspire as much curiosity and fascination as the Lincoln wheat pennies. For collectors and treasure hunters alike, the wheat cent represents nostalgia, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Today, we are going to explore one very particular year that stands out among them, the 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. At first glance, it might appear as just another old copper coin, something that could easily be overlooked at the bottom of a jar of change. But what makes this coin truly special is the deeper story hidden in its details, the historical moment it represents, and the incredible value it can hold in today's world. To understand why the 1958 wheat penny is so sought after, let us first step back and look at the long history of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny made its debut in 1909, created to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was the very first United States coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure such as Lady Liberty. The public loved it instantly, and for decades, the design remained largely the same. The obverse of the coin proudly displayed the profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse showcased two wheat stalks curving around the words 1 cent, giving the coin its now famous nickname, the wheat penny. This simple yet elegant design would remain in circulation for 50 years, right up until 1958, which makes that year particularly significant. The following year, 1959, saw the wheat design retired and replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. This transition marked the end of an era and cemented 1958 as the final chapter in the wheat penny's story. The 1958 Lincoln penny was struck primarily at two locations, the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark at the time, and the Denver Mint, which used the D mint mark. The absence of a mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Philadelphia, and for collectors, the Philadelphia strikes are always an essential part of the story. While many millions of 1958 no-mint mark wheat pennies were produced, the fascination arises not just from their sheer quantity but from their role as the last wheat cents ever made. Imagine holding a coin that represents the very end of a beloved design, a piece of history that connects directly to 50 years of American coinage tradition. Now, one might ask, if so many were minted, Why is the 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny so desirable? The answer lies in condition, rarity of surviving high-grade examples, and errors. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced more than 250 million wheat pennies. Most of these entered circulation, passed from hand to hand in daily transactions, and wore down with time. The majority of them today exist in circulated condition, often brown and worn, worth only a small premium above face value. However, in the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, often kept away from pockets and purses, can command significant prices. Collectors especially treasure coins that have never been touched by human hands, known as mint state, and within mint state, grades climb higher as the coin's surfaces remain flawless. The top tier, MS67 or MS68, represents coins of extraordinary beauty, luster, and sharpness. Such coins are rare because few were ever preserved so carefully, and even fewer survived the decades without damage. But what truly adds fuel to the fire of interest in the 1958 penny are the error coins. Coin errors occur when something goes wrong during the striking process. These errors, far from being worthless, are considered treasures by collectors because they are rare, unique, and often striking in appearance. The most famous error associated with the 1958 wheat penny is the doubled die obverse. In this error, the coin's design appears doubled, creating a ghost-like second image of the lettering or portrait. A small handful of these doubled die 1958 wheat pennies are known to exist, and they are some of the most sought-after coins in all of American numismatics. For collectors, the thrill of finding one of these is akin to winning the lottery, as they can command astonishing prices in the market. Imagine picking through a box of old coins and suddenly discovering one of the rarest doubled dies in existence. That is the dream that keeps collectors searching. Even aside from dramatic errors, the 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny carries a charm that goes beyond money. It is a coin tied to the cultural fabric of its time. In 1958, America was in the midst of rapid change. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, Elvis Presley was dominating the music charts, and NASA had just been created. The nation was brimming with optimism, innovation, and transformation. To hold a coin from that very year is to hold a fragment of that history. Every scratch, every patina of age, every gleaming uncirculated surface tells a story of the hands it passed through, the pockets it jingled in, the candy it bought, and the gas stations it paid. The wheat penny is more than just copper, it is a time capsule. Collectors and investors today see the 1958 no-mint mark penny as a gateway to both nostalgia and value. For the casual collector, it is an accessible coin, one that can often be found for a modest price in circulated grades. For the serious collector, the challenge lies in securing a gem-quality example or the rare doubled die error. Auction houses have seen remarkable results when these coins cross the block, with prices soaring into the tens of thousands. Each coin tells its own story of survival and rarity, and collectors are more than willing to pay a premium for the privilege of adding such a specimen to their collection. So, what does this mean for someone who might have a jar of old wheat pennies at home? It means opportunity. Checking those coins carefully could reveal treasures hiding in plain sight. The 1958 no-mint mark wheat penny is a reminder that sometimes extraordinary value can be found in the most ordinary places. It encourages us to look closely, to treasure the past, and to never underestimate the worth of what might seem small. Beyond its market value, the coin also serves as a symbol of transition. It represents the final farewell to the wheat design and the ushering in of the Lincoln Memorial reverse. For 50 years, Americans carried the wheat penny in their pockets, and then, just like that, the design was gone, replaced by something new. The 1958 penny, then, is a bridge between two eras, making it both historically and emotionally significant. Collectors who cherish it are not just holding a coin, they are preserving the end of a chapter in America's numismatic history. The enduring fascination with the 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny proves something profound. Value in coins is not only measured in dollars but in stories, rarity, beauty, and historical meaning. Whether in circulated condition as a nostalgic keepsake, in pristine mint state as a showcase of perfection, or as a rare error that sends shockwaves through the collecting world, this coin continues to captivate and inspire. It embodies the essence of why people collect coins, not only for investment but for the thrill of discovery and the connection to history. And now, the question many are waiting for: what is the potential value of a 1958 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny today? For most circulated examples, the value may be modest, just a few cents or dollars. But for those in extraordinary mint state grades, or for those exceedingly rare double die errors, the story changes dramatically. Some of these coins have reached prices that seem almost unbelievable, a reflection of just how treasured they are among collectors. The highest prices recorded have elevated this humble penny into the realm of true numismatic legends. The most incredible fact is this: a single 1958 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny has been valued at an astounding $49,266.